Who's eager? Jump out here. We got 1 and 2. I like it.
Good.
Okay, so you got a nice push on the outside there.
Yep. If you use 2 swords, use your left hand. If you're going to use 2 swords, at least pretend that your left hand knows how to fight.
But you did. Nice, Pete. But you did make. But one thing I want to get down your knees for a second. One thing, man, I call it the power of opposites, but that worked out really well because he did. He pushed hard to the right, and then snapped opposite side. I mean, he still threw with his right hand, but right as he wanted you to turn with him, which you did.
Yep. And
that opened up to give that shot. These are just little things. I mean, when we fight, we don't necessarily realize it, but that's actually initiating that movement. That's giving you that opening, that option, opening those squares in the graph paper. I totally stole that from you. Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Nice. He really wants to stab you. I'm just. Nothing wrong with that. It's just something I've noticed.
I go to the state park to Sanchez, and the first thing he taught me the day I came out was, you see a Florentiner,
Stab him! Yeah, good man.
There you go, you swung. Yeah. Good.
So that left hand from Florentine is also what can control the fight. Because if you throw a threat towards his sword hand, his natural reaction is going to be to tuck in and keep his block. So you can start controlling him with that. So you want to look at using that field to actually control him, push him, turn him if you need him to. And then as soon as you're more comfortable throwing those shots, you can stop throwing the fakes and then try to kill it.
And those can even be bullshit shots, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't have to be.
You don't commit.
They can just be going push in a little bit. I mean, he's not going to pull that arm out, right?
Yeah,
You
no
left
longer
yourself
wants
very unexposed by just giving a nice quick chop for that. But if he's pushing in and you don't like it, I mean, if he's pushing and you want to try something, you're working on it, that's great. But if it's something unexpected, right? Just, we'll stop him from putting something out there for just that moment.
Don't overdo your asking about how you're going to close, especially with 2 sword. If people are going to close and you're not sure what they're doing, you don't even need to swing past. If you swing at their hand, you're going to solicit responses. Right? When I swing here, what's your reaction? What do you want to do, right? Like that shoulder. Like his reaction is to do that shot 90% of the time. So you can do several things. You can have your other hand here ready to go. So when he throws
louder
that
so we
shot,
can hear you, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. A little louder.
He's the quiet one.
Right, what I'm saying is that when somebody's closing on you or you want to close on somebody and you're not sure what that hand's going to do, the danger hand, the weapon hand, if it's 2 sword or whatever hand he's leading with, if you throw at his hand, right, what that's going to do, that's going to A, stop him from doing any doom loops or mumbo jumbo that you don't quite understand. 2, what that's going to do is going to solicit a response, right? When you initiate contact with somebody's hand, they're going to throw. Like in this situation, 90% of the time, on pure statistics, if I throw at his hand, he's going to return trying to go for my arm on an inside lane, right? So I should expect that. And I should be able to capitalize on it because I expect it. So once he initiates that throw, I can have my other hand here to stop him. I can jam him in and return again. I can jam him out and return later. I should be able to capitalize on that response. It's a very predictable response.
Part of making your plan.
Right.
And just that movement initiation, right, is what starts that whole series of events off that he's actually working towards, right?
Right.
You think that you're responding to him, but he's the one that actually said, throw that shoulder at me, please. Throw that shoulder at me, please. Thank you. Boom. Right. It gives that whole series, that chain that can build from there. Awesome, guys. Let's do it again. Good. There you go, guys. You're getting more with that left, which is good. 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 And it's funny because you haven't had much trouble closing yet. Like in concept, you mentioned that that you don't care for. But man, you seem to be perfectly willing to press in, right? And you got good wide angle wraps. Now, careful because it does go outside, and that can get dangerous, right? If you get in, when he pushes that, it's very cold out. No, I'm lucky that I'm lefty, so I respond in that. But just go ahead and give it a hard push here, right? Then you can. I picked particularly because I still like my sword foot forward, right? But I'm gonna lean back right here, and if he's only got one hand, right, I'm gonna drop that hammer for sure. But even if you don't want to, you can come back, go ahead and as he goes, right, you don't have to push in. You can respond here, you can block out, respond here, and get lots of answers. Definitely get with that offhand and play with that a whole bunch. Because as he pushes in, he's just digging way past your block at this point. So you need to rotate those hips back more. Deal with that wide ass angle he's coming around you. Right? And then once he does that, if you catch that block, you've got the shorter return. You've got that nice inside lane for that short spot from A to B. Just tap. Right? So I'm way out here, and you dig back and make that block, and now I'm just beat.
I think instead of blocking, like what he's saying, turning your hips is correct, but when you're doing it, you're bringing your elbow back, which is incorrect. You want to keep your arm out. And if you keep your arm out, what you're going to do is you're going to cut off vectors. Like, because if you swing that outside wrap, right? If I block here like that, right, he's coming around. If you throw it again, if I block out, you're cutting off that vector
Way earlier.
And so even though I'm not turning my hips at all, if you turn your hips, it'll be a faster block. But you can, like I can have it's like a standard guard straight forward. You can throw that shot, right? And if I turn my hips, it's a very fast motion for me to turn my hips. I can still maintain that shot with my forward leg forward. And also, because when you turn your hips like this, your body naturally wants to spring back. Okay, so what that's going to do when you throw, it's going to naturally spring back for that shot, that specific shot. Yeah. If you see his guard drifting back in, throw. If you see his guard drifting back up in there like that, turn low. Turn low, keep your other hand there to keep swinging again.
And on your end, when you're dealing with those wide shots, right, you just need to understand that that's a vulnerability that you are putting yourself, right?
Sure.
If you can dig in deep enough, that's a valid shot, right? But the more you can, make sure that you're doing most of that with a straight arm, right? Some of those, I am seeing that your arms come way out here, and that's going to give you a way longer return. If you can get those same snap-ins, right, you can still dig it, and then you have that opportunity to pull back in that much quicker. I mean, that's really your choice at this point.
Sure.
Especially when you're dealing with him. This blocks the left side of your body.
Yep. This
blocks the right side of your body. Doing this will just get you killed. The moment you kick that shield over, you just get.
Yep.
Yeah, and then a couple more guys, and then we'll swap it out. Nice. Good. Ooh, good stab. I'm gonna let it end on that one. You get to end on a high note. That was good fights, guys. Let's get two new in there.